Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, Miss Blossom Rogers.
Y'all better get ready.
Get ready, get ready, get ready.
Get ready, get ready.
All right, so who is Blossom Rogers?
Like I said, I am not the one to gossip.
Howsoever.
But God said that I am one of His chosen ones. Man didn't choose me, God chose me.
Yes.
I'm a proud mother of 3 sons. Just turned 51 years young
Young.
in January.
50s are beautiful.
I'm trying to told you, girl. I'm trying to told you.
What is a beautiful thing.
They better recognize.
You know?
But God bless me. I am the survivor of crack cocaine. I smoked crack for 19 hard years, and I tell everybody, I liked everything about smoking crack. I liked everything, the fast life, the hustling, the naked parties. I liked everything. I just liked the consequences that came with it.
What drove you to it?
When I was coming up back in the day, you couldn't talk about molestation. You could not go to that schoolhouse and say, Daddy did such and such, or Uncle Bubba did this. You couldn't do that kind of stuff. So whatever happened in the house stayed in the house. And we are just as sick as our secrets. So for 19 years, I told it somebody else's secret. We're as sick as our secrets. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I heard my little brother say, if it don't belong, give it back to who it belongs to. But see, I didn't know that back then. God bless me, I went through molestation. I remember at the very age of 5. That was my my mother was young when she gave birth to me, so my grandmother raised me. So, you know, she was taught if a child had wingworm, you give them beer. That killed one. Well, that didn't happen. Every Sunday, I had Coke 45 of my medicine. And every Monday, I woke up with a hangover and still had the wingworm. But I tell people, and one thing I like to do, I like to let people know it's okay to laugh, because I did a lot of funny things out there. And when you can be true to yourself, you can be true to everybody else. I'm not ashamed of nothing I did out there while I was out on the streets. Because I'm not perfect, but I serve a perfect God. So I want people to realize that. Then, like I said, with my stepfather, the molestation. One thing God has taught me, and I'm not opposing the person that victimized kids, something had to have happened to them in order to put that on a child. That's right. You just don't wake up and I want to get molested. You just don't. Something broken. And I'm not opposing it. I don't feel like thinking I'm opposing, but that's the way God taught me so I can be able to forgive. I'm an author of 3 books called From Under a Bridge, book 1 and 2, and the 3rd book is called And They Laugh. Because as you know, we don't have people that laugh at us. But I want people to know that it's 2 different laughters. Are they laughing with you or at you? And when you know what you're working with, you can just continue, you can carry on. I also used to people laughing at me. And I used to laugh at myself. I was always the class clown. I figured if I made you feel good, that made me feel good, you know. And in a sense, that was people kids. And we have to be careful of that, because you know what I know, when we don't do something that a person wants us to do, they'll cut you off. And I had to learn that the hard way. But in the books, I talk about how I got on the crack cocaine. I got married at a young age, and that marriage didn't work out because he was in the military, and I was trying to run away from my problems. But we can't run away from our problems. We got to face them. You know what I'm saying?
That's so true.
Just like with a sword, you got a band-aid on it. Take that band-aid. You got to take the band-aid off so that it can heal. You know what I'm saying? Going through the marriage at a young age, you know, being beat and everything. And I want the listeners to hear me. You know, as a young girl, I always felt like if a guy didn't beat you, and let me get this right now, because I don't think like that now. Right. But if a man didn't beat you, he didn't love you. So I put it with the because that's what I saw as a child. Right. That's why we have to be careful what we expose these children to nowadays. Then it talks about how I ended up going with a guy who was already on crack. And I've always, back then, wanted to fit in. I wanted to fit in somewhere because I didn't know where I belonged, you know what I'm saying? The guy was already on crack, and I thought I could change him. We can't change nobody but ourselves.
That's right.
And then once the beating started with him, I said, if I can't beat him, I might as well join him. And I made him teach me how to smoke crack, because I want to fit in this world. And it was off to the races.
You know, it's so interesting that you mentioned earlier about the molester being broken. Somebody doesn't just wake up one morning and decide they're going to molest.
Right.
It's something that's broken in them, and that's how it manifests in them. And it's important to point out that when we have these things that occur in our childhood, and you gave the example, you were 5 years old when that trauma occurred.
Right.
So at 5 years old, a traumatic seed is planted.
That's right.
And that seed grows and manifests into a variety of behaviors.
Yes.
It grows and manifests into a certain mentality, which then, of course, causes all of the things that occur after it, whether it's drugs or promiscuity or, you know, whatever it is. It causes all of those things because that trauma has been placed in that child at such a young age. And you made another good point. It's so important to really be careful of what we say to our children.
That's right.
What we plant into our children, because a misplaced word can plant a seed in a child that can have a negative effect for a lifetime. And it's something that you can say to a child, you may not even remember, but it will stay with them for a lifetime and manifest into their adulthood.
Hey, and that's true. I used to tell people about rubbing a lick in a word, because it depends on who gave you the black eye, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I've had a black eye that lasted up to 3 weeks, but I've had some words that lasted up to 10 years.
And words have power.
Yeah. So we have to be careful in what we say to people, because we're speaking to the spirit.
Right.
Book number 2 tells you how I've been in prison, mental institution. My prison number is 58, 99, 31. I had that number for the rest of my life. It's just not a functioning number. How I've been into mental institutions, you know, rubber rooms. And you know what? When I see stuff like that on TV, I don't laugh at that, because I remember being in a rubber room. They couldn't give me the food to eat with the fork or knife. I had to eat with my hands, laying on a mattress. And had been in there for so many days, I didn't even know who the person was that when they showed their picture. I was like, well, who is that? They said, Blossom, that's you. I said, the devil is a lie.
You
I
didn't
didn't know
recognize
me
yourself.
at all. The crack had took me, so, and it don't take long for that crack. I don't know what it is, but you know what it is? We're trying to get that very first high. It's just like a very first love. We always trying to get that very first we fell in love. So for me, I go with Bubba, then Fred, take a piece of Bubba, take a piece of Fred, take a piece of Mark, and then you end up with Frankenstein. So that's, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I was changing. I was trying to create that very first high.
What is it about that first high?
It made me forget about everything I had been through. It made me forget about all the hurt, the pain, the molestation. And you know what? The sad part is, once that high was gone, I still had the same problem.
You know, it goes back to what you were saying about the Band-Aid. You know, going back to that trauma occurring at the age of 5.
Right.
And over the course of the years, that wound healing improperly. And you get to an age, whether it's in your 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever it is, you got that Band-Aid on. But what you have to do, like you said, take that Band-Aid off. Okay, now you have a wound that has healed in an improper way, which means you gotta open that wound again, heal back those layers, and in some instances, start over again.
And I had so many relapse because I was letting the sore heal improperly. You know?
Right.
God also, I also talk about in the book how God delivered me from homosexual spirit. And I want somebody to hear me very well. That's not of God, that's an abomination. We're not born like that. You know what I'm saying? That's a choice of lifestyle. Because I have been molested by me, I thought going with a woman was better. And that's just how Blossom felt, you know what I'm saying? And if I would have, back then, I would have married her. That's how entwined that was, you know what I'm saying? I also talk about in the book how God delivered me from a man leaving me for another man. This brother was fine in all I do, but he left me for a man. That he had been through something, you know. So hurt people hurt other people. Right, you know. Also talk about, you know, just going back and forth, and just trying to find love in all the wrong places, you know what I'm saying? And God's taught me until you can love yourself, first love Him, then you love yourself, then I can love you. Just like with being true to myself. I'm an ex-crackhead, you know what I'm saying? An ex-lesbian. And I tell a lot of people, when it comes to abuse, it's just not physical abuse.
Right.
I have 3 sons. I call them my soldiers. But I maybe didn't sexually or physically abuse them, but mentally, I put them boys through a lot. But God blessed me. When I got a year clean, I was able to call them and apologize for what I had said and done. You know, and I want people to know, once we apologize, we got to keep saying I'm sorry over and over. But first of all, I don't say I'm sorry because it doesn't sorry about me.
Apology.
I apologize. It is what it is. Either gonna barbecue mildew. We don't have to keep saying the same thing over and over again. And I used to get stuck with that. Oh, they still mad at me. But who was hurt? I was. So I talk about all this in the books, and I let people know. And the last 3 years of my habit was $500-600 a day. And that's a lot of crack. So I had to get out there and get it. It was any kind of way, whoever, whenever, wherever. And I'm not bragging, but I'm bragging about the God that delivered me from all that.
So when did that conversation change? Because, you know, so we're talking about this journey that started at the age of 5 from a trauma. That trauma manifested into drug addiction, alcohol,
Yes.
homosexuality,
Yes.
prison. It manifested into all of those things.
Only thing I didn't do was slept with an animal. And that was just a yet. Because if the dope boy would have said, I give you a half to sleep with last thing, I would have slept with it all. I'm just telling the truth.
So at what point, and that's powerful that you say that, at what point, you know, I always say on my show, the greatest conversation that you ever have is the one that takes place in between your ears, because it determines how you think about yourself, it determines how you think about others, it determines your perception on the world. And so that conversation that you are having in between your ears from childhood up until the point where you make that change, and you've shared that, you know, I'm not good enough, I gotta please people, you know, I've gotta do these things, I'm gonna try to change this person. Take us to the moment where that conversation in between your ears changed.
Well, as you see the items of them.
Well, okay, let's pause it for a moment. Take us through this.
Now, I want you to look at all the colors. Now, first of all, who in their right mind gonna go buy a shirt that looks like that? Somebody who smoke crack, okay?
Okay.
All right.
So can we hold the shirt up?
Yes.
Hold the shirt.
All right.
Okay, we're gonna hold the shirt.
So, now that's the shirt that I had on the night God called me out the crack house, okay? That's, and I was proud of that shirt too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I had on the bottom. I pray to God I had something on, but
Did you have?
I don't know.
So we're not sure if we had something.
I'm just being honest. I don't know.
You don't know? We had a top on. We don't know if we had a bottom on, but we had
We had a top on, right? So I had on that shirt. I had this purse,
Mm-hmm.
and I had them shoes.
Did you have anything in the purse?
A stem, a piece of paper, and a pencil. And I had some ideas, but it was all crunched up.
Okay. Okay.
And them were the shoes.
These here shoes.
Girl, them was my summer, winter, and fall.
And you know, these shoes have been on, do y'all see these shoes? These
My
shoes
shoes.
have been on a journey. y'all.
Them are my shoes.
Like, she proud of these shoes.
I bought them for Payless 13 years ago, girl.
Wow.
I was sitting in the crack house. And you know what? One thing I can laugh about things I've been through.
Yes.
Because they're going to talk about you, they're going to laugh regardless. You know what I'm saying? But when you know who you are and who you belong to, that's all that matters. I ain't the one to gossip.
Who you are.
Who you are
And who
and
you
who you belong to, that's all that matters. Now, as long as they don't do this, we just fight. Because I still know how to fight. Now, I don't do no crack, but I still know how to fight.
Still know how to fight.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
So I was sitting in the crack house. You know what? I'm so tired because mentally, I'm tired.
Right.
I had been to rehab. I had to try to get clean for church. I had to try to get clean for children. But until you want it for yourself, that's why I want people to know. You can talk to you blue in the face,
Yes.
but if that person don't want it, you just
To that conversation.
That's it.
That conversation
That's
has
it.
to change.
And this is a battle. This right here. I don't have my recovery here. I have it in my heart. Because this is change
That's
every
the
day.
battle.
It's
Yes.
change every second. But I was sitting in the crack house. And you know, God delivered me. Also, I was with a guy that was HIV positive. He never told me. and we never had safe sex. But I'm here, sitting here, and I don't have AIDS, I don't have HIV. And I have a lot of people saying, oh, you're immune system. No, that was the blood of Jesus that covered me. You understand?
You know, this is the saying I grew up with my grandma, you know, who used to say, God watches out for babies and fools.
I was just
And I'm no baby,
okay,
no baby.
yeah. So I'm sitting in the dope hole in Florida, and I had been up for about 2-3 weeks. So, you know, woman not bathing, they used to smell me coming before they see me coming. And I looked like Tails from the Crypt and smelled like hot buttermilk. I was just a hot mess. You know what I'm saying? It was hot too. You know, I'm just
hot mess. She was just a hot mess. She was a hot mess.
Girl, let me tell you one thing. You know how some people look out the blind and say, oh, here comes so and so. They used to look out the blind and say, oh, here comes Blossom. They would pick their whole house and move. Because I was just a mean drunk and a mean crack. A crack.
And I think, you know, let me just pause there, because I think that is powerful for you to use that analogy. You know, look out the window and pick the house
They
up.
picked the whole house up.
Pick the whole house.
But when I did do that, all was the water shooting away, you know, the
Right,
plumbing,
right.
that's another. I mean, because I was either gonna tell something or tell somebody. That's how much I hurt I had inside. And I remember I went to church and got saved. And there's nothing like being saved and sanctified through the Holy Ghost. And you still have a good time. People think, you know, you have to sit with a stiff neck. That's not true. We didn't come out shaking no tambourines, so stop beating people up. We all fall short. But I was sitting in this crack house, and I had the stem, and I've been cussing for people in the hospital here. And I went into the kitchen. Sometimes you have to be by yourself so you can think. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You have to take time out.
Still.
Right.
To hear his voice too.
And so I remember taking a hit of crack, and I remember going to this purse and the paper that comes out, and I started writing God a letter. And I tell people, at times it helps you to write too, because you can go back. And girl, I was so proud of that purse. I was proud of that purse. Nobody could tell me. Nothing scrap broke. I still got the bobby, the safety pin on it. But God, I'm telling you. So I take, you know what, and now that God uses me, I take them items with me everywhere I go to let people know that I can't wear my shoes mentally or physically. There's something you can tell me. Because you have to know, you can do that. Because if you haven't been through it, you can't help
You
them.
can't wear her shoes.
That's right, mentally or physically.
Mentally or physically.
That's just tell me, you know what I'm saying? I'll listen to you, but, you know, you can't tell me how it is when you got children, you sell their food. In the hospital, you never done that, you know what I'm saying? So I was sitting there, take a hit, write God, take another hit, write God. And the young lady's house that I was in, I told her, I said, you see people, and I was cruising sober, and I remember she laughed. I remember being up under that bridge in the backseat of that car. It was a 1993 Dynasty. And I remember being up there and hearing the other cars going across, and them people was living, and I was under there dying, you know. Too scared to live, too scared to die. I'm thinking about all this while I'm like,
But your conversation is starting to change.
Yeah.
Starting to change.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, it's something, it's got to be a better life, because I haven't tasted goodness, you know what I'm saying? I've tasted how it was when I visited church, you know, and I'll take another hit. You know, I have people say, you didn't get rid of crack? No, I had my whole life, I wasn't throw my crack away, you know what I'm saying? So I remember taking that hit of crack, and I remember writing that last line. And I just remember saying, Lord, it's got to be a change.
And speaking of change, what are the three, talk to us about the three solutions you have, three takeaways that you have.
God taught me how to forgive my abuser.
Okay. Forgive you.
God taught me how to forgive myself. And God taught me that you can blossom from under a bridge.
Now, I don't know if you put them in that order on purpose, but I noticed the first thing you said was you forgive the abuser before you forgive yourself.
Right.
Is that intentional?
Yeah, because if I can't forgive you, then I can't work on myself. I'm holding too much animosity against you, then I can start working on myself, because I had to be taught how to give you his secret. That was his secret that I told for 19 years. But and so when I was able to do that, God bless me, I went back to school, got my high school diploma, went back to school, to college, became a nationally certified medical assistant. In the process, got remarried, and then I've gotten another divorce. But due to love, and people say love, yes, because he loved talking to other women, brought them over in my house. But I used to get half a bird out here. Not at all. Then in my clean time, because I had 13 years clean, so that's what my dress represented. I lost my very first home, carbon code, but I still did not go back and get high. Because God has created me to do much more. When He brings us out, He's not just bringing us out for ourselves, He's bringing us out for other people. So God bless me, I have a non-profit organization, which is called From Under a Bridge Safe Haven Home for Women, where we're in the process now of building a home for women that want to stay clean and sober. God's blessed me with the 3 books, God's blessed me with a radio blog show. And I'm not the one to gossip, and I can't talk too much about it, but Empire better get ready because I'm on pre-production with speaking it with Dr. I'm not the one to gossip, Empire.
She's speaking it.
But I got the movie deal, so
That's a beautiful thing.
and I spoke back for 19 years. So don't let nobody tell you what you can't do. Don't, you know what I'm saying? And then God blessed me to be introduced with to different people, you know. Y'all took me in like we family, you know what I'm saying? And that's a blessing because I used to be the type of person that messed up friendships. I took advantage of people. But now I thank God for being the bottom to the top, you know what I'm saying?
And share with the 3 solutions one more time.
How to forgive my abuser, how to forgive myself, and how you can blossom from under a bridge.
I hope you all were taking, I told you off the top of it, take some notes, because these testimonies are powerful. Our brother Ben, just before Blossom, sharing his testimony of how he came from the bottom to the top. Blossom sharing her testimony. Y'all, I'm telling you, today, someone is going to speak something to you that's going to help you get from your bottom to the top.
The Bottom to the Top Tour is not a moment, it is a movement. If you've been inspired by the powerful testimonies of the speakers that you have heard today, you have an opportunity to have your own copy of the new soon-to-be-released book, Testify. You don't want to miss the opportunity to read through the details of the stories, the trials, the challenges, and the triumphs of the 12 speakers featured on the Bottom to the Top Tour Atlanta. If you would like to bring the Bottom to the Top Tour to your local city and your local town, please dial 1-866-686-5836. Again, the Bottom to the Top Tour, not a moment, it's a movement.